Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's my first video back after the Christmas and New Year break, and I hope that you had a fabulous time and that you enjoyed your Christmas celebrations if you celebrate Christmas, or if you don't, I hope that you enjoyed time with family and friends doing what you enjoy. For those of you who follow me regularly, you know that we'd organised a Christmas break with family, and just a quick précis of the events. It almost didn't happen. A week before we were due to go away, Chris was walking the dogs and he just felt a twinge in his buttock and tore a muscle in his buttock, and a week later he got a massive hematoma. And to cut a long story short, he spent all night in hospital having CT scans and x-rays and the like, and came home at 7 o'clock on the Sunday morning as we were due to drive to Mid Wales on the Monday in crutches, and couldn't drive. So thankfully the two girls stepped up to the plate and offered to take me in the camper van with all the with both dogs and all the paraphernalia, Christmas food and presents, etc, etc. And the other daughter, one of the other daughters, she followed in the car with Chris and the parrot, and so off we proceeded on the Monday, and then they helped us, bless them, to unpack once we'd arrived, and then they drove home. The pair of them drove back home with it was Suzanne, she drove her car and Kerry drove the camper van, and yeah, they spent all day looking after us and driving us there, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get there. So we had a fabulous week despite that mishap, and Chris managed to hobble about with his crutches for the week, and we just enjoyed family time. People came and went as they wished, and we had 2 Christmas lunches. We had a Christmas lunch on the Monday for those that weren't staying the whole of the week, and then we had another Christmas lunch on Christmas Day, and spent the afternoon opening presents, and yeah, it was absolutely fabulous, really making memories, and it was great for us all there was about 20 of us in total, and it was just wonderful. And then by the Saturday everybody had left, and Chris and I just had the Saturday night to chillax and you know, just sit and contemplate what a wonderful week we'd had. The place we stayed was absolutely fabulous. They had everything that we could have wished for, you know, in the way of being you know, enabling us to, you know, cook Christmas lunch, and it was just a real home from home, very cozy. Had a lovely big hot tub that everybody got to use, and there was a swimming pool there, but it was too cold for the pool. It's heated by solar, and the temperatures had dropped, so it didn't reach temperatures, so we couldn't have the cover taken off that, but we still had a fabulous time. So then, as soon as the end of the week came, Chris and I got flu. So since then we've both been coughing and spluttering, and spent most of the days in bed really since then. Chris is more or less over his. He's stopped coughing now finally, and my sore throat's lingering a little bit, so I do apologise if I keep having to clear my throat a little bit. I've sort of got the remnants of it, but I'm just starting to feel a bit more like myself. So I'm down to 1 video left in my bank. You know, I banked some videos Some of them aren't craft related, so I've been scraping the bottom of the barrel because I haven't really felt like doing anything at all, you know, never mind making videos. So I think I've got one more video up. It's due to come out on the 17th, I think, or 20th of this month. And so I thought I'd better try and do a little bit, and it has coincided really well because Suzanne from Non-Stop Paper Crafts, who I'm a design team member for, has brought out a fabulous kit. I did explain to her that I'd got flu when it first came out. It came out about a fortnight ago, and you know, she's lovely, bless her. So I haven't managed to use the kit since it first came out, but there have been some freebies. There's been 2 weeks of freebies released. So for those of you who don't know Suzanne over at Non-Stop Paper Crafts, do go over to her channel, because the kit that she has released now is called a Snail Mail. So as you can see, it's postal mail related. And this is week 2's freebies. So you've got things like wax seals, you've got postcards, you've got photographs, you've got clusters and little mini tags, and yeah, it's great. And then it comes in 2 different sorts. You've got what she's called her original, and you get the same designs but in a grungy style as well, so you can mix and match, or you can, you know, do it all in the original, or you can do it in the grungy theme. And I haven't printed it all out because I want to save it and do a project when I'm feeling a bit more like myself. So all I've done is print off this sheet just to give you an idea of what is available. There's lots of tags and envelopes and some lovely backing sheets. So I'm going to do a really quick little project. So what I've actually done is I've printed the page of tags, and as you can see, these are absolutely great. Let me just come out a little bit so that you can see them all on the page. And so they're airmail envelope and you know, themed and stationery themed. And this is one of the backing sheets. So you can, you know, I've just printed it onto an A4 sheet, and you know, if you were doing a journal, you could use the page as that. So that would be really great. And then this is one of the envelopes. Now I have made it bigger so it fits the whole of the A4 sheet, so I can use it as a backing. But when you print it off, you can print it as an envelope, and if you make a backing sheet to go on it, you could use it as a little envelope, which I'm going to show you. I've got something similar here. So that is one of the background sheets. And then on here, this is another background sheet, and this is from the these 2 are from the original. That is from the grungy, the envelope there, and this is from the original. And I have backed it, but I've backed it with some digitals of my own, so just ignore those, because I'm going to use that as a page in a minute to put my project on that I'm going to be making. So I'll put those to one side, and then I've taken some of the other ephemera. This is a piece of ephemera that's in the kit, as are these lovely little cards. These are from the originals, and I think that's from the original because I think the other envelope is a bit darker and a bit more grungy than that. And I've taken some of the little words as well. So I'm going to go away and cut those out, and I'll be right back, and we'll make a little project to put these in. Before I go off, if you notice on these envelopes, Suzanne's given you a back and the front. So as long as you, when you make them, enlarge them or shrink them, that you do them all as a set, then the backs will actually fit the front so that you can make the front and the back of the envelope. Right everybody, I've cut out all my pieces of ephemera and I've cut out some tags, and what I've done is I've cut out 4 of the tags, but I've left a border, so I'll just show you how I've done that. As you can see, Suzanne's left white space between, so all I've done is I've cut out one tag like so. Let me cut out that one as well. And I've taken off the bottom and the sides, and then I've just gone down there like that, and then with my ruler I just move this out the way so I know I'm in shot, and then I've just taken my ruler and a scoring tool just to make it easier to fold in along there, seeing as it's very fine. And that actually makes your hinge, to save you cutting out strips of paper, or it's up to you. You can use material. I've used material to make my hinges in the past, but for quickness I'm just going to we'll do this one as well. You know, sometimes you get so carried away with fussy cutting, you cut them all out and then you think, oh, why didn't I, you know, keep the edge on one side to save me the bother of doing all that. So these are all my bits and pieces and little taggy bits. So we'll pop that there, and I'll just do the same here. Could have done with a bit of a finer embossing tool, but it's done the job almost. There we go. Oops. There we are. And then I'll just get rid of those bits. So what I want to do now is to make a double pocket. So I suggest that you use double back side. Now if you want it to be a sturdy pocket, use a little bit stronger paper. Now this is normal copier paper and I think it's about 100 GSM, so it's not the finest. And then what I'm going to do is make a pocket and then just take over a little bit. So I'm going to fold over like so, and then I'm going to make sure that the edges are matched, and then I would say it's about quarter to half an inch fold over, but you can make it, you know, a little bit wider if you like, you know, by, you know, leaving less of a margin there. And then what I'm going to do is just going to use a bit of glue to glue this down. So let's have a look. If we say about, oh come on now, don't play silly games on me today. So there we go. Just a thin line of glue to hold it down. Here we go. And then I'm just going to think, because this has got words on it, I'm going to think about which bit I'm folding up. So I'm going to make sure that these are facing the right way. If I'd have decided to have that as the bottom pocket, it would have been plain, which is fine, but I'm going to fold this bit over, so if there'd have been any writing on there, it would have been upside down probably. So let's have a look. I'm going to pop that there, and my reason being is I quite like that stamp to be seen. Now you can see the seam here, so I might need to put a little bit of extra glue just along there to keep that little flap down. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to decorate the edges of there, so just bear with me 1 second. And what I'm going to do is pop it in my punch. And do that side. And that side. There we go. And then I'm going to fold this down again by about 1 inch for the pocket. And that's worked out quite well, because I can still see a bit of the envelope there, and I can see this writing. And then what I'm going to do is with my scissors, I'm just going to cut this little edge off there. So I'm taking the tiniest bit up to that fold line, and then I'm going to do the same this side, and same again, just the tiniest bit going from that to there, or maybe a bit more on that one. There we go. And then what that does, it actually releases this edge here, and I'm going to fold that in, because this is going to strengthen the edge of the pocket, and I'm going to glue that bit down. Oops. Just go in between to try and get it down as best we can along the edges, and fold that in. Now if you've got a floral, you know, if you're using floral papers, you can really go to town to give them a nice edge. Now that'll fold back down here, and you've got the grungy inside to be shown there. Now you can actually leave that up if you want, but I don't want it to catch on anything, so I'm just going to lightly glue there to keep that down. And then I'm just going to ink along the edge. So what that does, it just defines the edge of your pocket, and along here as well. And now you've got a pocket here, and you've got a pocket there, and they're both fairly strong because they're double thickness. So this is why, because it's going to be glued down onto my page, it reinforces, you know, those pockets, so it makes it double strength, so it's equal to 200 GSM there for your pocket edge, so you can, you know, have peace of mind when you're putting your tags in and out that it's going to be fairly substantial. And when you glue the sides down, like we're going to do now, along here and along here, and I'm just using a normal PVA glue, which is just Craftelier tacky glue, because it's paper to paper for any new paper crafters. And I'm going to try and keep this board nice and clean because it's my Christmas present off my hubby, one of the Christmas prezzies, and so I'm going to try and keep it nice so it looks nice when I'm filming. Now we're going to do the same with the other side. So same again, we're going to pop this in and punch a hole along there, frilly edge, and this I got from Amazon, and I get most of my crafting things from Amazon. So there we go. Oops, we've missed a little bit, so I don't know how that happened, but there we go. These things happen, and hopefully if I've lined it up, it'll still be okay. Right, so we'll just get rid of that for a minute. And then what we're going to do then is fold down this bit here. Just a minute. This bit's going to come down even more actually. Let's have a look. Just get my brain into gear, because this bit's going to be folded up. So let's have a look. One second. I'm just thinking. No, that's right. This bit's going to be folded down. And I'm going to try and get it so that it's equal to this here. So we'll do that. There we go. And that's it. That's the bit I was thinking of. I need to snip that off there. Snip this off here. And then we'll do the same again. Fold it over. So we're going to fold that over there. And glue that bit down. And then that way it's not going to catch on anything coming in and out the pocket. Just needs a little bit underneath there, I think. There we go. And then same here. And we'll go along. A bit more difficult when it's full of holes, but we'll do the best. Oops. Do the best we can. There we go. Now I could have inked that edge just to make it a little bit more defined, so we'll do that. go. A bit better. There we are. And then I think what I should have done is probably made this pocket a little bit, you know, brought it up a little bit more, made it a little bit deeper. Now you've got a choice here because you've got a lovely big long tag pocket there. So if you want to make a full length tag, you can. So this would get glued onto your page, and let me just see if I can get it to stand out a bit better. Let's just do some inking, which always helps. But it's great because you've got a nice double pocket here, and it gives you plenty of storage space for your ephemera and everything, all your lovely goodies that you want to put in your journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down onto the page. Now I'll keep these lovely images on the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a side pocket there. I'm going to do a side pocket there so I can put something in here, and I've got this pocket here to go in the top. Or if you don't want to have a side opening pocket, you can have a double pocket at the top, because all you do is glue down the three sides. So you've got that side on the left, that side on the right, and the bottom, and that way you can tuck something in the pocket behind, you can tuck something in there, and yeah, so that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. And yeah, but I'm going to have a side pocket instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this top section, this section here, and along the bottom. And I'm going to pop it down there onto my page, and this will be ready to pop a page in that's already prepped into the journal when I make it. Excuse me, sniffing. And then what I've done is I've cut out one of the envelopes here. So all I'm going to do is pop that to one side, and I'm going to use my scoring tool again, or you can just bend it up with your ruler. Oh dear. It's funny when you've got a cold how you feel worse in the morning and worse in the evenings, isn't it? So we'll do that and then fold them inwards. And that goes over there like so. I just need to ink this edge a bit more. There you go. And then we've got the top section here. There we go. And that's ready for folding down at the back. So what we'll do is we'll give it some glue along these edges. So I do hope you go over to Suzanne's Facebook group page and the kits are available on her Ko-fi shop, and the freebies that go with it are available in her Ko-fi shop or on her Facebook group page. And she's also celebrating her 5th year on Facebook. No, I haven't quite folded that right, so let me just come over a little bit more. There we go. Just get the glue off there now. Give this a little bit more. Yeah, and because her Facebook group has been going 5 years, she's also released a brand new free gift, and it's beautiful, beautiful papers, lovely pastel-y, soft shaded florals. So do go and have a look at those. And if you make anything with Suzanne's digitals, you know, please post them on Facebook, and it's a way of, you know, inspiring others. So here, and I'm not going to do anything with this, you can decorate these up by, you know, adding some of the words. Now at the back here there is a little, Suzanne has put in some wax seals, so I could use that little wax seal there, but it's not very strong, so I'd need to back it. So with one of my scraps, what I would do is I'd get some scrap paper, and let me get a scrap piece off here, and I would just glue this onto some card there and fussy cut round it. There we go. Nearly done. It's quite a quick thing to do. And then ink around the edges. And now, because I've put card behind it, it's going to last a bit longer, this little seal. And then what I would do then is I'd put some glossy accents on the top, and that would make it sort of semi-shiny, so it'd look more like wax. And I can do that after. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to glue along the bottom half, and I'm going to pop that down like that and just hold it there for a second or two. Wipe away any excess glue, and that way you've got a little closure for your envelope there, and it'll just tuck back in. I'm just being a bit careful at the minute because obviously it's only just been glued down. And then with some of the ephemera, like I could put that on there behind a scrappy bit of something. Let's have a look. Have I got anything scrappy? Have I got a scrappy bit of lace? Yeah, let me get my little bits and bobs lace box out and see if we've got, we've got a bit of scrappy coffee dyed sheet there, so we'll take that off there and get my Fab-A-Tac out, or 3-in-1 glue. And for those of you who are new to papercraft, this Fab-A-Tac or 3-in-1 is for gluing fabric to paper, and it's excellent. So what we need to do now is open up my little bit of coffee dyed sheet and then get my label, and I need to put some 3-in-1 of, what is it, Fabri-Tac on that as well. And it's puddling out because it's, I don't know what it is, but when it's coming towards the end of a bottle, I tend to keep them upside down and it just pulls out. So we're going to have excess glue here now, a bit of a sticky mess. But the nice thing about Fabri-Tac is you can roll it off. If you rub at it gently, it does come off, and you rub it with your finger and you would never even know that you had a bit of a puddle there a few moments ago. So I'll just move that out of the way. So here, really quickly done. We've got a lovely little envelope with a seal on the back, and that will sit nicely in our pocket. And I can put, now then, here, because we've actually glued this down to the back where it's full. Oh no, hang on, that should be another pocket. Sorry, it was me. I was thinking I'd glued it down and left a ridge. No, so that's a double pocket. So as you can see, it's going behind. And then what I thought we'd do is, I'll bring that to the front pocket, I think. And then what I'm going to do is get one of the tags. And which one shall we have? They want inking anyway, on the edges here and along the bottom. And same again here. So I've got 2 tags there, and then what I'm going to do is glue them to some of the backs. So how many have I got? Let's have a shifty. There should be some more here. I'll just put you on pause, 1 sec. Right, so what I've done is I've paired up my tags, and we've got 4 here, and I'm going to just do something different with them. So what I thought I'd do is pair those 2 together. So I'm going to just glue along the edge here. And put that along the edge of that tag. And hold it for a second or two. Trying to marry them up so that they're as close to being a shadow image of each other. That you can't see. That's probably the easiest way to do it, actually, to open it out. There we go. So that way now you've got a tag where you open it up and it gives you a double writing space. So we'll ink on there. That's one, and it's ready for decorating. And as you can see, you've got plenty of writing space there. Any extra bits that are poking out, you can trim up after, so that, you know, they they look good. So that's that one. And then this one, I thought what I would do is I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to make a secret writing spot with this one. So all we do is we glue as near as we can to the edge around the tag. So just the tiniest bit of ink, of glue. Like so. And then we'll glue those two together. This is one of my favourite things to make. I make it for most of my journals because it's such a good addition to your ephemera. And while that's drying, I'll just ink around the edges. And do both sides. And then I'm just going to get my cutting mat, and with my now ideally I'd let that dry, and what I need to do is just make sure it's going to be straight. So let's hope for the best. There we go. And now I haven't gone mad, so I'll take that one out of the way. And then with our spare bit of card, and I need one that's got something on the back. So what we're going to do here, I need to just put some backing paper on. So what I will do now is that should be enough, and I'm just going to stick that onto there. And that will make it a bit stronger as well. And then we'll chop down there, and I think we've glued. Just trim the white bits off. Now then, these are the two pieces of the tag, so it needs to be narrow enough to go inside of there. So I need to cut a little bit more, so we'll be fairly generous so that we're not snipping and wasting time. And then this will slide in as an insert into there, and that gives you a nice writing space then, front and back. So we'll just ink around the edges of that too. We'll do the back as well. I won't do the bottom because we're round the edges up. So I'm going to pop that back in there, and prior to doing that I'm going to put some glue front and back onto this little strip. And that can go inside our paper. And then we need to be fairly quick because that's got to go inside of here. Oops, a daisy. Let me get my scissors. So we need to cut a little bit off, as you can see. So if I take that and pop that into there, and it needs to go the other way around. And if you need to adjust it by pulling it across, then this is the time to do it before your glue dries. There we go. Now I can press it down, and there you have a lovely secret writing spot, which I will get ready to put my eyelet in. And then we're going to round the edges and ink both sides. And you can do all sorts. You can do some stamping on the back here. I'm just going to take the whiteness off a little bit just by rubbing that over. And then we'll pop that back in. And then we'll give it a little eyelet. And I'm going to use the other side for doing that because it's a bit more decorative. There we go. And I haven't inked this edge because if you ink along your edges on the top there, it gives the game away. And by not inking, you know, blink and you'd miss it. And once you actually get your piece of material in for your tag, let's have a look. Yeah, that's quite nice. See if I can just get it to tie in a little. One second, because my fingernails haven't grown yet. There we go. Oops. Just needs coming in half a little bit more. There we go. That's better. So there we have a scrappy little tag, and I'm just going to pop a little label on there where it says stamp, And then we'll, just wondering what to do about that one with the eyelets. I'll think about that. So this can go in your pocket as well. And we'll put that in the front pocket and that in the back pocket. Let's have a look, where am I? That one there. That one there. There we go. On that page. And then we could do with a little bit of something decorative up on that pocket there. So I'm going to pop that up there. And then if you've got a document, I'm just using this as a bit of an example, say that is a nice document, you can pop that in your pocket at the top there, and it'll go right the way down to the bottom, look, because you've got a nice deep pocket there. So a nice piece of document ephemera would be lovely in that pocket. And then finally, I'm not going to decorate these up, you know, you can see what I've given, sort of 2 examples there. You could do the same with these little postcards, and these are very quick to do, so you can give them a nice decorative front and back. So let's have a look. Just seeing, that's the back there, so we can pop that there, and same again, really easy to do. We can give them top openings. There we go. And that could be a little secret place as well. You could hide something inside there, or if you wanted people to know that there's an opening at the top, you can make a little finger divot on there, you know, with your punch, and then you can put little documents in. See if I've got something that would fit in there, maybe a nice stamp or something. Let's have a look. Would that little stamp go in there? Yeah. So we can pop that in to the front there as well. And you've got a florally one, so you can use your florally one on the back, and you can have a side opening on this one. I'm just looking to see if I think that's the top there, that's the top there. I'll make this one another top opener. And they're lovely just to put in little pieces of ephemera inside. There we go. See if I've got something else in here. Oops, a daisy. go, there's a nice little piece there, and we'll just ink round. There we go. And we'll pop that inside there as well. And you could put a little tab on that. That could be seen from the top. Don't think I've got any little tabs handy. You know, a little whale tail tab or some such piece. I'll leave that popping out for the moment, and we'll pop that in the back pocket there as well, because I do love a loaded pocket. And then at the side you've got you know, more space to make more ephemera to go on the, you know, in the side pockets, in the side pocket as well. And that'll take a bigger piece of ephemera obviously than the card there. Let me just have a look, see if I've got anything pre-made that I could slide in. This is one of my postcards, and that might be quite pretty to go in there. This is one of my digitals here, and it's in my Ko-fi shop, but that would fit perfectly in that envelope there on the side, and just leaving it sticking out. And for the top part, here's a lovely bookmark. Obviously it's not part of this kit, but you know, that can, just to give you an example, that sits nicely in there. If you don't mind it sticking out the top of your journals, you can, you know, trim it a bit off the top and the bottom, and it would look lovely with some ribbon or something on the top there. So that is my little project. It has run on a bit longer than I expected, because I've made a few more pieces. It was just basically, I was just going to basically show you how to make the pocket here, but instead we've made a little piece of ephemera there. We've made a hidden writing spot. We've made a big pocket with a side tuck, a top tuck, and 2 pockets there. And we've made an envelope with hasn't got anything in, and I always put something in my pockets, so we'll have to fill it with something. And I've got a little envelope here that I'll put in from another kit. And that's the beauty of these, you can fill them, you know, with all sorts. What we got here, that's a pocket. Here we've got another piece of ephemera in there, toasted cornflakes with a baby on, and that fits in there perfectly, look. And we've got a little closure on the back, which I will put some glossy accents on there to make it like a wax seal. So that is just broken me in gently since Christmas, and I do hope you like what we've made, and that you'll pop over to Suzanne's Facebook page and help yourself to her lovely freebies. And she's very generous. She releases them every month, and every 2 months with a kit. And always love her designs. They're very inventive and I do hope that you'll give us some support. And I also would like to thank you all for your support for all of last year, all your lovely kind comments. They have inspired me greatly, and they kept spurring me along in the times when I thought, oh, I'll give it all up. But I'll just keep plodding along, and as long as some of you are enjoying what I'm doing, I will endeavour to carry on. And yeah, I hope to see more of you in 2026, and I'll wish you on that note a very, very happy 2026, and I hope it's a good year for you and it brings you joy, that it brings us peace, and that, you know, you remain healthy. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. So until then, take care everybody, and I'll say bye for now. Bye.